students, welcome to the online biology classes. Today we are going to understand the next topic from the chapter Diversity in the Living Organisms. In the last video we were just talking about the kingdom Animalia. Let us revise kingdom Animalia. We have just discussed about the three phylums Porifera, Coelenterata and Platyhelminthes. Let us first revise these three topics once again. Animalia, these are the organisms which are eukaryotic, multicellular and heterotrophic. I hope you understand the meaning of the term eukaryotic, multicellular and heterotrophic. The cells do not have cell wall and they are mobile, and they are further classified into different phylums on the basis of the extent and type of the body design and differentiation. Means how complex their body becomes or how simple their body is. On the basis of this thing, body design and differentiation, they have been classified into different phylums, that is Porifera, Coelenterata, Platyhelminthes, Nematoda, Annelida, Arthropoda, Mollusca, Echinodermata, Protochordata. So we will be just continuing with the other phylums. In the previous video, we have just understood the phylum Porifera. Phylum Porifera, they are having pores all over their body. They remain attached to the solid support. They are having the canal system for the circulation of water and food inside their body and elimination of the waste product. The body is having outer layer of the skeleton, outer layer called as the exoskeleton, and they are commonly called as sponges. Coelenterata, these are the animals that live in water. They show more body differentiation as compared to Porifera. There is a cavity in their body and the body is made up of two layers, that is they are diploblastic. Some of these species live in colonies while others have solitary, means they live alone, like hydra, jellyfish and sea anemone are the common examples. Okay, you can see over here, diagram is given here. Now Platyhelminthes, that also we have discussed in the last video. Platyhelminthes are commonly called as the flatworms. Their body is having no cavity. They are flat from head to tail, that is dorsoventrally they are flattened. They are not having organs inside the cavity because their cavity is not there. It is flat, ribbon like. Okay, and the examples are planarians and parasitic animals like liver fluke. Let us come to the next topic, that is next phylum, that is Nematoda. The nematode body is also butterfly, but bilaterally symmetric. Sorry, I am very sorry. It is bilaterally symmetrical and triploblastic. That means it is having two layers in the body. Bilaterally symmetrical. Last time we have just understood what is bilateral symmetry. Bilateral symmetry means if we cut an organism from head to tail, both the parts will be superimposed over each other. If only and only we will be cutting it in one plane, any one plane if we will be cutting, and the two cut portions are overlapped on each other, that is called as bilateral symmetry. Radial symmetry means if you cut in any of the plane, anywhere, if you will be cutting an organism, that will be divided into two equal parts in any plane. Triploblastic means three layers in the body. So this nematoda is bilateral symmetry, means you can cut only in one plane to superimpose it. And it is triploblastic, means it is having three layers in the body. Body is cylindrical rather than flattened, as in the case of Platyhelminthes. There are tissues but no real organs. Okay, tissues are there, means body group of body is not only having cells, but the cells group together to form the tissues. So next higher level of body organization is seen in nematoda. Okay, there are very familiar parasitic worms cause disease, such as worms causing elephantiasis. So they all are coming under phylum nematoda. Okay, you can see diagram also is given, Ascaris and Vaucheria. Now Annelida, this is most interesting phylum. You can see that Annelida, this is most common examples you will be seeing in this weather. In this rainy season, you will be finding the organisms of this phylum. That is, you will be finding earthworm, leeches all around over here. They all come under phylum Annelida. I'll be trying to make one video and I'll be showing you live these organisms in the in the live condition. I'll be just showing you, and then we'll be just comparing what we have, or we'll be just making the connections that what we are studying now in this class theoretically, and what exactly we look in the natural environment. That I'll be making one video and we'll be just understanding with the live animals. Okay, let us see here. You can see Annelida. Most common example is earthworm. The body is septate, means they are having lining all over the body. It is segmented. Okay, it is triploblastic, bilaterally symmetrical. Okay, organs are also there inside the body. The extensive organ differentiation is there. You will be finding extensive organ differentiation, means at different locations you will be finding different organs also inside the body. The animal is found in variety of habitats. The body is segmented. That means all the segments you will be finding line all over the body. These are the segments. Earthworm and leeches are the familiar examples. Now we'll be coming to another very interesting phylum, that is phylum Arthropoda. This is probably the largest group of animal. Okay, this is the largest group of the animal kingdom. These animals are bilateral symmetrical. All the insects come under this category. Okay, where they are bilateral symmetrical and segmented, so their body is also segmented in pieces, small pieces you will be finding. When you will be seeing the diagram, it will be very much clear to you, students. These animals are bilateral symmetry and segmented. There is an open circulatory system. Open circulatory system. Open. There are two types of circulatory systems: open circulatory system and closed circulatory system. Open circulatory system means the blood is filled inside the body. The body is having one cavity inside, and inside that cavity, blood is being filled. There is no blood vessels to carry that blood, as in the case of human beings and other mammals, where the blood flows in the closed channels, in the closed system, that is in the system of arteries, veins, capillaries. These are the blood vessels. If the blood is flowing in this blood vessels, that type of system is called as the closed circulatory system, where the blood flows in the system of blood vessels. But if the blood is not flowing in the system of blood vessels, it is filled, just filled inside a hole in the cavity of the body, that is called as the open circulatory system. And if the blood is flowing in the blood vessels, that type of a system is called as the closed circulatory system. Okay, the coelomic cavity is blood filled. Here it is written, very nicely it is written. So I hope you are able to understand what is coelomic cavity. The body cavity is called as the coelomic cavity. It is filled with blood. They have jointed legs. The word arthropod means jointed legs. So the meaning of arthropod is jointed legs, means their leg is having many joints in that. You'll understand when you will be seeing the diagram for this. Examples are prawns, butterfly, crabs, spiders, scorpions. All this you might have seen in the season. Also, you will be just I'll try to show you in one of the online biology class. I'll be just taking you to in the lap of the nature, and for the nature's walk we'll be going. Once we'll be just going for a nature's walk, I'll be making a video and I'll be just showing you most of these organisms in the natural environment. Okay, let us see. Okay, you can see here, this is a prawn. You will be seeing a scorpion, spider, butterfly, cockroach. All these are coming under the phylum Arthropoda. Arthropoda means jointed legs, means they are having many joints in their legs. You will be finding here. Okay, let us move to the next phylum, that is phylum Mollusca. Mollusca, they are soft bodied organisms. Okay, the organisms which are coming under this phylum are all soft bodied. They are having no bones. Their body is very soft. You can see the diagram is given over there. You will be finding octopus. Okay, their body is very soft. Okay, so they are soft bodied organism. There is a little segmentation present. Coelomic cavity is reduced. That means they are having a small cavity inside the body. They are having open circulatory system, as in the case of arthropoda also we have seen. Circulatory system is open type and the kidney-like organs for excretion is present. Okay, for the excretion, kidney-like organ is, so means inside the body there are organs also. There is a foot that is used for moving around. In octopus you can see a foot is there. Examples are snails and mussels. This also we will be just seeing once when we will be having nature's walk. Okay, let us move to they are soft bodied organisms. Let us move more ahead. Okay, you will be finding Echinodermata. That is the next phylum. Echinodermata. Echinos meaning hedgehog. That is spiny skinned mammal. And derma means skin. So echinos means hedgehog. Hedgehog like organism. There is one organism which is found in in hogs, which is having all spines all over the body. That is called as hedgehog. Hedgehog is an organism. Okay, hedgehog is an organism which is a mammal. It is having spines all over the body. So this echinodermata word is being taken from echinos, meaning hedgehog like organism, and derma means skin. To mean the organism which is having the spiny skin is called as echinodermata. Thus, these are spiny skinned organisms. They are exclusively free living marine animals. Marine means they are found in salt water. So they are found in seas and oceans. They are triploblastic and have a coelomic cavity. They are triploblastic means 3 layers in the body and have a coelomic cavity. That means they are having hole inside the body. They also have peculiar water driven tube system that they use for moving around. Okay, so they are having tube system. Water enters through this tube and it provides the mobility to that animal, or it helps the animal to move. Okay, water pass from their holes and then comes out from the another one. It creates a force which helps that animal to move around. They have hard calcium carbonate structures that use as a skeleton. Examples are sea stars and sea urchins. Okay, so starfish you have just seen. Okay, that comes under this phylum. Now we'll be just discussing about the phylum Protochordata. Okay, these animals are bilaterally symmetrical, means they are when they are cut into one plane only, they are divided into two equal parts. Triploblastic means 3 layers in the body and have coelom, means they are having the body cavity also. In addition, they show a new feature of the body design, namely a notochord. So this is very important, student, to note down what is a notochord. So the notochord is a structure that separates the gut from the other tissues. Okay, gut from the gut lining means from the stomach, or we can just see the digestive system. It separates the animals. The notochord is a long rod like support structure that runs along the back of the animal, separating the nervous tissue from the gut. Okay, so from the nervous system and the gut, there is a line of separation. Okay, that is called as a notochord. So that is a rod like structure, okay, that runs along the back of the animal, separating the nervous tissue from the gut. Gut means the somewhat you can see that the system which helps in the nutrition, or gut lining, or we can say that the stomach, or we can say the digestive system. Okay, that is the gut. So the digestive system is separated from the nervous system by one rod like structure, and that is called as a notochord. And in these animals, this particular structure is being found. So this is very important, students. In the examination it is been asked that what is the most remarkable characteristics of the phylum Protochordata, and that is the notochord. Okay, so presence of notochord confirms that it is Protochordata. It provides place for muscles to attach for ease of the movement. From there only, that is from the notochord, the muscles are being attached for the movement. Protochordates may not have proper notochord present at all stages in their lives or for the entire length of the life. Okay, so protochordates may not have proper notochord present in all stages in their lives. That means while they are developing in developmental stage, while they are in their developmental stages or in their embryonic stages, so they may not have that notochord in all the stages, but in one of the stage it is sure that it will be having that particular structure. Protochordates are marine animals. Example, Balanoglossus, Herdmania, and Amphioxus. Okay, so what we have just seen, what interesting thing we have seen in this animal, that they are having notochord, at least in some stages during their life. Means need not that notochord like structure which is separating the gut from the nervous tissues present in entire life or in all the developmental stages of that animal or in all the embryonic stages of the animal, but in few of the stages definitely that particular structure is present in these organisms. I hope students you are able to understand these phylums nicely. In one of the classes I have just also promised you that we'll be just going in the nature's walk, and live we'll be studying whatever animals are possible or whatever animals are found in our locality and which belongs to this phylums. We'll be just discussing about those animals while we'll be going for a nature's walk. So once we'll be having that interesting class also, students. So as of now we'll be just winding up this video here. In the next class we'll be just talking about the next topics, that is we'll be just coming to vertebrata and cyclostomata, and then we'll be talking about the species. Okay, so we'll be just coming to the next topic from tomorrow, and I hope this video is of much importance to you. Thank you. Have a nice day.